celebrity. He makes music. He makes records. And we got to do it to people.
He's in the public.
Yeah,
He's in the
public figure.
man.
You know, he was a Muslim at one point. One Savior's Day, he was a Muslim. Right? He was born again Muslim at his one Savior's Day. Now he's a Rastafarian. Hey, maybe he's going through his journey. I don't know. Only he knows that.
More power to him. That's what I say, brother.
Yeah, if he's gonna do, that's him. I know where we at. Yeah. We're in the war.
Yeah.
That's where we at. We're in the war. You hear about the white man that stabbed that brother? They were sitting down with two white chicks eating.
Recently?
Heard about that one recently? Yeah.
Yeah.
They just walked over and stabbed him. You know, a lot of stuff is coming out, man. Even at the jobs and everything else, But it's all fulfillment, man. It's no surprise. Like I said, the devil's a loser. They say the devil's a liar. Well, the devil's a loser, and all we got to do is show up. All we got to do is show up for the fight. We've been conditioned. We're still being conditioned now for the fight. All we got to do is show up. That's it. Now we're showing up. This brother been in the trenches ever since I met him. It wasn't like I met him hanging out and he got in the trenches after he heard a good record.
Yes.
He's always been in the trenches, man. Real talk. And that's what's going to speak after a while. But if my man think it was Nas, he said, let the streets be the judge. People know him. We all got our own work. You got the outpost, man. You got the Oasis.
But you know what? What Asa did, not to cut you off.
No.
But what Asa did, man, people ain't always been promoting myself. You know what I'm saying? This brother, I met Brother Day too, and I never told him that. And I might told him a long time ago. Second day I met this brother, I gave him one of my CDs. And that's before I was making DVDs, man. Nobody was pumping my stuff hard. The final call was from my office, but other than that, I walked by his shop, he didn't know me. He was pumping my CD, man, for the masses. He didn't even know me. That was like the second day I met him.
Yeah.
So I'm always been grateful for that, brother, man.
Yes,
That's a great feeling, because you don't feel like you're getting the support you should. You walk by a man's shop you just met 2 days ago, he pumping your lecture to the whole world. So that was big with me. Can I say something about the Snoop Dogg thing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My thing about the Snoop Dogg thing, y'all know my connection with the Snoop thing. Last year was the liquor, pumping liquor to the children at Coke 45 Blast or whatever.
That Blast, yeah.
Is it Snoop Lion or Snoop Lion?
Right.
Now,
yeah.
I mean, because I replayed that Savior's Day thing, and also when he tried to do that thing, how the West was united, or how the West was one, when he said that, we're going to get everybody together, we're going to stop the beef. My thing with Snoop is this. I'm going to quote Brother Cimarron. Brother Cimarron been dead. Brother Cimarron has a saying that if two cars get in an accident, the first thing you do is when you hop out your car is to see which car caused the most damage on the other car. If they both made an impact, one's going to have more damage to the other. So my thing is, and it remains to be seen, is Snoop going to affect reggae more than reggae is going to affect Snoop?
Yes, sir.
Because you're talking about somebody who sold their soul to commercialism. And I don't care who you are, if you Mace, if you whoever, if you've already sold your soul to Jimmy Iovine, Summer Redstone, the Rockefellers and all those people that run it, if you already sold your soul, just changing your religion ain't going to get it back.
Not at all. Yes, sir.
Mace got out the business. Mace got back into business.
Yeah, he did.
Mace was rolling with the church. Next minute, Mace trying to sign with G-Unit.
That's right.
Once you sign your name and you sign your life away, you just ain't going to say I had a conversion, because you never know, did they send you into reggae to make reggae into something it ain't supposed to be? But that remains to be seen. You see the article where he was saying that he thinks hip-hop's ready for a gay rapper?
Say what now?
I didn't see that.
He said what?
He said hip-hop's ready for a gay rapper now.
Gay rapper.
Who said that?
Snoop.
Wow.
This was like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I don't know if it was an endorsement or observation.
Right.
But, you know, Snoop is known for having, like, contradictions.
Yes, sir.
And, like, you know, Brother Steve Coakley, the late, great Brother Steve Coakley used to tell us, Coakley used to tell us,
That's right.
beware of he who talks with forked tongue. People don't understand the signs of the snake. It's not only that he can't stand up 90 degrees perpendicular because of his body. Not only that he's going to just creep along the ground, but the signs of the snake is his tongue, the forked tongue.
Yes, sir.
He can say one thing and do something else.
Something else.
So that Snoop thing, man, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I done seen that dude come too many times talking about he want to change his life, but he has not deviated from 1996 when he did what was that thing he did where he sold his soul to the devil? Murder was the case.
Murder was the case.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't never deviated. You know, and the devil, Satan, Shaitan, whatever you want to call him, his whole thing is deception.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't got no reason. It ain't nothing bothering somebody who sold their soul to the devil from going to a church if they're a born again Christian or going to a mosque and taking salat. Nothing prevents that if you answer to a higher order. If you answer to a higher order, that's the order you answer to.
Right.
And nothing dude is done on a continuous basis even makes me think that he's changed his attitude. Now, I mean, I ain't judging jury on it. But if you look at a man's history from 1996, it's been pretty consistent with inconsistency.
Check. Absolutely.
True.
Absolutely. And again, you know, the yardstick today is the proof and the activity and the work that we do in this war that we're in. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to know the time and what must be done.
Right.
And the time dictates the agenda. We've had masters that have come amongst us. Oh man, I mean, if we just want to deal with the shores of North America, and gave us different degrees of what must be done, whether it was Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, we can go down the line. The most honorable Marcus Garvey, you know, the honorable Elijah Muhammad, the prophet, noble Jew Ali. We can go all down the line, you know. And this one thing remains the same: we still at war. You know, that's consistent. And if nothing else, it's just like we've been jumping out of a helicopter with the backpack, and we hit the ground, we hit the terrain. One of the first things we're going to look is check out the terrain and where the hell is the enemy. And the enemy is helping us define really what it is that we need to do. Because the enemy is putting foot to behind, one way or another. So a cat like Snoop, you know, him being inconsistent, that can't last for so long in this war, because you're gonna have to man up. You know.
Let me ask you a
Yes,
question.
sir.
Who really controls hip hop? People will say Jay, but my thing has always been Snoop. If you look at the commerciality and how they love him, and having the name of a Cadillac, and he even said, I don't know if it was the Save This Day video when he said that he said I rule him. I'm the boss.
Okay. With me, my answer is again the Jew, the white man. He runs it because basically, you know, if I may be blunt, it's kind of hard these days to put a cut on a lot of things because things are so raw, man. A lot of these dudes is just simply the white man's dick. And as long as they get out there on that track and do what they're told to do, then they'll get a couple of trinkets, they'll get some new clothes, they'll get some new shoes, and things of that nature. But this war is going to dictate, this war that we're in is going to dictate who's who and what's what. And we all play our own parts. And cats like that cannot last when the deal goes down. It's going down. Not everybody in the street, see, we've been given a virtual reality. It's like there's the street, and then there's this virtual reality of the street. If you get what I'm saying. It's like there's the hood, and there's a virtual reality of the hood. Case in point, there was an era where it was about changing the conditions in the ghetto. I may live in the ghetto, but the ghetto doesn't live in me. Then came this movement of glorifying it. That's the virtual reality, along with the virtual reality music, along with the virtual reality food, along with the virtual reality of the artificial intelligence. it's a whole matrix. So these cats are part of the program in the matrix. And once the plug is pulled, because there are glitches, the glitches are when you meet those real people in the street, they ain't feeling those cats.
Right.
They're not feeling those cats.
It's the white kids.
It's the white kids. And then there's those that maybe the hangers on that get paid from hanging with this dude or part of the clique, that they'll promote, yo, this dude is still street, still this and that. But they're not really that. They're not really that. But again, this war is the yardstick. And there are certain divine truths that will show that they don't measure up. Yes, sir, good boy.
Did y'all see Serena Williams do the crip walk in the Olympics?
Yeah, yep. I saw some of that. Yep.
That was heavy.
That was real heavy.
Hood thing.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on the internet, this ain't a Truth Minister original, somebody made a good point. They said that, Ilse from All Hip Hop, he made a good point, like, out of all the things she could have done, you know, if you go back to the 68 Olympics when they threw up the Black Power fist, out of all the things she could have done,
yes, sir.
for on international tournaments in front of billions of people, why would she choose to do that? You know, we're talking about the Snoop Dogg reference. It was Snoop that actually brought that into the conscience of the people. Then Bow Wow. Snoop did it first, then Bow Wow. So,
yeah, absolutely, bro. And then your man Fat Joe commented on that on one of those songs, Lean Back, I think it was, talking about that Bow Wow them doing the crip walk and all that crazy. Yeah.
The question is why?
That's
because nothing's by accident.
Right. Exactly.
If you look at what Dr. Dre was doing at the same exact time, he was using the Olympics to promote his hip-hop.
Right.
You know, everything's marketing.
Right.
These people, they know what to do, they know what not to do.
Right.
I wrote an article that a lot of people got upset about, probably about 2 to 3 weeks ago, calling out Drake.
Okay.
Drake's Jewish.
I know.
Now, you know the law of the Jewish mother. If your mother is Jewish by Orthodox Jewish standards, that makes you Jewish.
Right.
Therefore, how come you can say nigger, but he can't say kike, hiney, none of that? That's a contradiction nobody's bringing up. Culturally, you don't identify with African culture. Culturally, you identify with bar mitzvahs, you identify with European versus Judaism.
Right.
So how come he can say nigger on every other verse? Nobody calls him out. My thing is, if you say nigger, you can say how you say kite, all of that.
You can say all that. Absolutely, I agree.
So they know what to say, they know what not to say. You know, they'll say we have freedom of speech, we can be free to say this and that and the other, but they know only when it offends us, they have free.
Right.
They can be free. They know they can, even Muhammad Ali, look at what he did. He got upset through his Olympic medal in the river, supposedly. That's the story. Okay, later he recanted, said that didn't happen, but at the time that was symbolic. So going back to Serena Williams, that was symbolic as well when she decided to do that whole crip walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's bigger than just she felt like doing it. It's bigger than that.
Yeah, it gotta be much bigger than that. Absolutely. And off subject of that, but one of the conversations I was having actually just yesterday with a sister. She was saying something. I forget the comments that she made that sparked the conversation, but it was in regards to secret society. And my take on that, okay, yeah, secret society's been in existence for however long, since way back. But like what I was explaining to her, because she was, they're doing this and they're doing that. At the end of the day, these so-called secret societies have been kept secret because we allow them to be kept secret. As many of us as it is in this world, as many people with conscious minds, and there's more of us waking up now. But even let's go back to the beginning. We as a people allow these people to stay secret because there's too many of us that are quote unquote, I guess, not outside the secret societies for us to not expose these people. So it could have been, those so-called secrets could have been out in the open a long time ago if we had not allowed it to stay that way. And we continue to allow it. So, until us as a people decide, all right, you know what? Fuck all this secrecy. Let's expose them. Because it's not a secret because we know about them.
We just don't know the conversations that they have. We don't know what goes on when they go inside and close the door. But we know that they exist. We know the names of these different groups and organizations. We know the people, some of the people that are, part of these organizations and groups. But, we just sitting back saying, fuck it. Like, yo, they secret.
But you know who I think really answers it the best as far as how we deal with it? Because exposing is one thing, but what you going to do about it? The person who answered the best to me is KRS. KRS said, yeah, they exist, but when God steps in the room, all knees will bow. So that's what he said. He said, what they do, what they got going, that's their thing. But when God steps in the room, he was talking metaphysics.
True indeed.
When God steps in the room,
it
is what it is.
Yeah, and that's real.
But I mean, all the books are here, man. I suggest everybody comes down here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gets at least one book a week at least.
He keep
at least one book.
The truth in here.
Because all these books, man, it's like it puts into a context. Because a lot of these people, they just new jacks. They just coming into secret societies, whatever, the last couple of years since that dude put out that DVD with Griff. It went like wow, which was amazing in itself. The dude Griff did a blog talk radio program. Cheap blog talk. Anybody could have done it. I don't know how many people were listening. Griff does stuff like that. He just do it off the love. It ain't gotta be no major thing.
No.
He did like this blog talk radio program 3 years ago. Somebody picked it up, put it on DVD, put some images to it. That thing went viral. That's what started the whole Illuminati.
Okay, yeah.
A little small, hour-long blog talk radio show that anybody could have done. But that started off a whole movement, so we got the technology.
Yeah, true indeed.
I mean, that went from just a blog talk radio thing to Jay-Z having to respond, to Meek Mills having to respond, Rick Ross having to respond, 2 Chainz's mother questioning him whether he's in the Illuminati. Yeah. 2 Chainz's mother. It was on Big Boy show, I think, out of LA.
Yeah, see, I gotta get back into that. See, I got so far away from, because I'm an MC myself.
Right.
And the state of hip hop it's terrible. So I strayed away from it. Like I wasn't listening to nobody, buying nobody CDs, checking for nobody internet radio stations, none of that shit. You know what I mean? Because it's ugly to me. I came up. I'm 36, so you know the era I came up in. You know what I mean? And that's hip hop to me. So when I hear this shit, the shit I've been hearing for the past 10 years, really. I just got to the point so I ain't been up on a lot of the news that's been, or if you want to call it that stuff that's been going on inside of that industry. I don't even really pay it because like I tell people, people always be like, well, why you ain't get on, why you ain't out yet, yada yada. I had a couple deals on the table. I had a situation. I ain't gonna call it a deal. I had a situation on the table with Def Jam back in 2001. The female she was the A&R over my particular project. She had a couple other people under her belt. Red, Meth, DMX, LL. All of them was on her roster at that point in time. And we went out. She took me to a couple of them industry parties. This was my first time ever being exposed to that. Bro, we go up in a couple. It was one spot in particular. I remember the name of the spot was the Cutting Room in New York City. I forget what street it was on, but I remember the name of the spot. And we go up in there, bro. And I'm talking about men sitting like no arms on these chairs, sitting closer than me and you are right now. I walked in. First thing I saw, I look over to the side, I see one brother sitting there, and it's another brother sitting right next to him. And this brother got his leg crossed, but his leg is sitting on top of that other man's legs, and they that's normal. That's normal. So I see shit like this. I'm like, hold on, this ain't right. Ain't paying no mind that time. Me and my mans, we went to another spot. Puffy was up in there. I never met Puff, but one of my mans had some dealings with him. He had a little situation with D-Dot back in the day. So they up in the spot. My man's like, we at the bar. Puff at the bar doing his little dance thing. Puff is next to us, but on the other side of Puff is 2 dudes. These 2 dudes just start kissing each other in the mouth. Puff look at them, look back, look over at us like, yeah, we gonna have a good time tonight, ain't we? My man and them like they looking at Puff like, hell no, we ain't gonna have no good time. Get the man, we out of here. You know what I mean? So it's shit like that, like with that industry shit, man, that just discouraged me from wanting to be a part of that. I still make music because I love to make music. I'm an MC, it's in me. You know what I mean? But I don't have no desire to be a part of that shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's no way I'm gonna compromise my man. Like then the chick was telling me like, yo, you gotta, you know, she was like, your stuff is hot, like you real nice, but you gotta make songs like a Jay-Z or like a Nelly and yada yada yada. And in hindsight, from a business perspective, I understand what she was saying, but on a human level, as a man, I can't compromise myself. I don't live Jay-Z's life. I don't live Nelly's life. I can't make songs like they do. You understand what I'm saying? And then, like I said, that whole when I started actually seeing that homo shit with my own eyes, cool on all that shit, man.
See, most people ain't gonna speak on what they saw with their own eyes.
Yeah.
You want, you know.
Yeah, that shit. Cool.
You know, I ain't in the industry, so I can just speculate.
Man, listen, that shit is it's heavy, bro. Like, yo, I was so eager. I'm talking about from 10, 11 years old, bro, to be the next Rakim, the next Nas, and yada yada yada. And I had somewhat of an opportunity, but then when I saw everything else that came along with that, at that point in my life, not knowing about, you know, the internet and so on and so forth back then, because this internet thing with the music, it was just coming into play around early 2000 and so on and so forth. So not knowing about those type of resources and doing it myself, you know, feeling like, all right, well, I need these, you know, I need one of these labels to put me to where I want to be. That shit just discouraged me. So I stopped making music. Period. I fell off. Well, not fell off, but I stopped doing what I do for about 3-4 years. You know what I mean? Because of that. And then it was like, you know, I stopped recording. I never stopped writing. I always, you know, but yeah, man, seeing shit like that, it just fucked me up about the game, about the industry. And then of course, you know, it when you see shit like that, you I mean, you know, it's life. It ain't just inside that industry. That's some people's reality just on a regular, you know. And that's never that. I don't like to say never, but that'll never be a part of my reality, man.
But suppose you didn't have morals, and that's the thing.
I can't say suppose because I do.
Yeah, but
so I don't know if I didn't. I don't.
Right, I'm talking about if somebody doesn't have morals, and ever since they've been 11 years old, that's all they wanted to do. You know, be an MC, and that's all their whole life passion. They ain't got morals, and they go into an office and sitting back in the office saying, "You do this to me, I'll do this for you." That's gonna go. That's gonna go for that because they have no moral balance, and they thinking, "Wow, if I just do this one time, I can live comfortably forever."
Yeah.
You see, again, with the homosexual agenda, one thing that's interesting about the homosexual agenda and homosexuality is compromise.
Mm-hmm.
See, once a person is put in that position and accepts to compromise themselves, then everything else is compromised. You know, and what you mentioned just a minute ago, when you said morals, it made me think about what we grew up knowing, if nothing else, was 10 Commandments.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing this coming, okay, the laws of my eye. There was no compromise to those principles. There was no compromise to those laws. It's just like with religion, when people grafted religion from the spiritual tenets.
Right.
You know, for every, let's say for the sake of how valid it is, for every Torah, the 5 books of Moses, as it's called, someone grafted a Talmud to compromise the law. For every Quran, someone compromised and someone grafted a Hadith to compromise the law. And as the Rasta would say, the true I and I, there's no compromise. There's agreement. there's complementation or being complementary with each other. There's agreement, but there is not the compromise. That's the act and works of the devil. That's the, for those that's into the lesson, there you have where you're grafting devils.
Right.
You know, and so it's very key for this society, for the beast to develop a homosexual agenda, to homosexualize the society on not just necessarily a physical homosexual, but mentally and spiritually, to always have us compromise with the beast. And that's the thing. We're at a point now, it's like Brother Malcolm say, no compromise. We have to have our standards and cut the compromise, because this whole homosexual thing is bigger than just two men laying down, two women laying down. Although that has a part that it plays, because there are quite a few homosexuals that want to war with the beast. Some of them were just, it was imposed upon them. Some of them were raised that way. But there are a lot that have been genetically and spiritually engineered to be that way. So the whole thing with homosexuality and its homosexual agenda, the homosexual agenda is not even in favor of the homosexual. It's in favor of the few closet faggots, closet pedophiles, because those cats don't want a grown man. They want a little boy. It's not even a matter of wanting someone the same sex. It's a matter, from their perspective, it's a matter of dominance.
Control. Exactly.
Control. And they can only control us if we compromise.
Exactly.
You dig what I'm saying? And that's what some of these homosexual brothers and sisters have to understand when they start taking position against heterosexual brothers and sisters, is that we don't want to compromise. It's not about hating whether a woman wants a woman or a man wants a man, which that's them. But it's bigger. The beast got a bigger thing going on. And they got to realize also at the end of the day, they may be a homosexual. We got a homosexual agenda in a party. Guess what? You're going to still be considered a nigga. You'll still be a second class homosexual. So if you in line for some dick, you're going to have to get in the back because there's some white boys up front. Part of my expression, Queen. You know? But that's the deal.
What did Kwame Ture say? Even the most liberal white people, they're fighting, at the end of the day, they're fighting for power.
Yes, sir.
And we're fighting for survival.
Yes, sir. And
we're going to survive America.
Yes, sir.
I think that was his early speeches back when he was Stokely Carmichael. Like Berkeley, 1974, something like that.
You saw the Black Power mixtape? Oh, man. Good DVD.
Only thing I like about it, really, is that it's a lot of footage of Kwame Ture that nobody's ever seen.
Yeah.
Other than that, but it's a lot of footage that you wouldn't. It's not privy to the public. They had it, and you can see how they actually were accepted overseas as opposed to in America.
Oh yeah, right.
I didn't know that kind of stuff, so that was interesting.
Right. Yeah, it's real talk. Real talk. What's up, Ace? You got any questions you want to throw out there? And on the Knowledge Day.
True. That's today's math. Today the first?
On the born month. You know what I mean?
Today the first?
September, yes, sir.
For real, yeah. Griff, September 1st. Yeah, this is the Knowledge Day.
No doubt. You kicked it off. Man. You got Griff in here. You got the energy was crazy. Different brothers and sisters coming in, man.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. On the Knowledge Day, today's math, right?
Yes, sir.
Everybody came through. That's what's up.
Yes, sir.
Nah, I can't even get into nothing now because the camera that's it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
it's
sir.
flashing.
Hey, well.
Got to juice it back up, charge them up.
All right. Well, divinity is your birthright.
No doubt.
Brothers and sisters, divinity is your birthright. It's not something you got to buy. It's not nothing you got to go into a secret ritual to get. You ain't got to jump in no coffins. You ain't got to mud wrestle with no over the hill white politician. You ain't got to do none of that. That's what you were born with. All you got to do is know thyself. Know thyself. Knowledge. The first day, Knowledge Day. Peace.
Peace.